everyone, welcome to the PSU doubleheader. My name is Kraken Mare, joined by Froggy. How you doing, Froggy?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. We're going to be starting with a set of PSU Fish versus UDeep. This is a reschedule from week 1, and funny enough, this is for the group. The winner of this set is gonna get #1 in their group. So I'll tell you what, if you're gonna use a reschedule, this was the perfect one to reschedule, Froggy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what's better than saving the best match for last, right? I think that's just worked out really well for them.
Yeah, I think that's it's an amazing way that this went about. You could not have asked for anything better. But I'll tell you what, we have a doubleheader tonight. I think it's gonna be really cool. We have a whole another set of commentators coming in for the second set later, which is PSU Goobers versus Coyotes Black. So make sure to stay tuned. If we'll have this one, that one, and then I'm gonna be doing some solo gameplay later. So we have a lot in store for you today. And I'll tell you what, we're gonna start on a good one here. Robo Ramen Zones. Froggy, what do you think the key point here for both of these teams are?
Well, I think it really comes down to how these teams want to counterplay each other. I've heard that both teams run very interesting weapons on both sides. So, and I've heard Vunder and Big Swig could be in play here today. So, depending on how you use these weapons and how much you enable them, can really determine how the match goes. So, I think that really will determine how these teams play around each other. Not to mention the map to begin with. This is a very stable zones map. So,
and we do see, by the way, the banner matches there for UDeep.
Beautiful.
Will they get the banner buff? We'll find out. They're 4-0 in group right now, so I'll tell you what, they've had a good season thus far. But we mentioned the Vunder, Froggy, and here it is already.
Yep, right away. We can see that they're kind of going after the zone here. They're playing this neutral game. Both teams seem to be playing really safe, besides the dualies on the right side there for Fish and Fish going after this player. They did not engage, though. Free slider is ready. Do they use it here? They don't quite use it yet.
Slider for slider.
yeah, they trade that, I guess. Both teams down 1 or 2 players. Oh, it does look like Fish is going to be down 3 of their players. Julie's probably jumped out or heading back there. Looks like they're below.
They're still creeping underneath, Froggy. They might try to come up this wall.
Yeah.
Looks like they are attempting to, but now UDeep knows where they are for sure. UDeep wasn't sure before, but they're kind of throwing walls and trying to keep those Julies underneath in an area that they're not really going to do well. And finally, they jump off Froggy. But they're going to get a lot of points on the board here, they being UDeep in this case. Here comes the slider. Will we have slider on slider crime? No, they're just going to punish it straight up.
Yep. Oh, the slider tries to cancel the bubble. They get canceled. Oh, they do actually make it through. I lied. Did you see this under here? Nice flick by Arcton. Beautiful play there. They're going to go cap this zone right away, get that penalty on that board, and start capping themselves. Make a mishap here, sadly, trying to go for that heavy splatling, or the edit in this case. Not quite making what they want. The cooler is coming out for UDeep here.
They see a jump in here, too. They're trying to get the pick. They don't get the jump, but they get someone else defending the jump, and that is their bow. Bow being a fantastic painting weapon. That's something you want to get a pick as fast as possible. You can't complain about getting them instead of the jump. Of course, the jump being, in this case, was the Vunder. And, of course, UDeep also gets the cap. We see T on a roll here on the heavy edit, getting 2 picks and setting their team up to get a lot of points here, potentially. Froggy, here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. I also kind of noticing that this is kind of very much feeling like a slider, a slider and slider match right now. It kind of feels like that the sliders are definitely just taking over the zone and kind of playing. The whole team is playing around them. Watching, you can see the slider's probably going to go in here in a second here, and the whole team's probably going to go right after them, right? Wave breaker, go with it. But then we get a counter slider on the other side. Oh, it's just a mess going on in zone. Like I just said. I mean, you play around your weapons, right? You play around your teammates. It does look like Fish is going to come on top for that one, though. And UDeep's going to be playing back here. Junior trying to stay alive quite at the moment. Ike pushing up here with the Dread. They're going to be trying to make a play here. Maybe I can help enable Dread. Not quite. They do go up. I think they tried the bubble. I don't think they got it out in time. Ike here going for a play. Oh, the free slider gets canceled.
It's double slider on the side of PSU. And so that's why we had a triple slider in zone, which is just hilarious.
Yeah.
One after another.
Yep. Oh, wow. I mean, there's just a lot going on here. Oh, you just see Keyline here probably trying to build up their slider. They do have it ready. I wonder if they're going to pop it here on that player or try to go for maybe a big play. They don't know where that player went. They are on the left. They're going to use their slider here. The other teams are going to be behind them. They're just behind them in the zone. They don't even see it, and they get flanked when they had the chance to KO right there. Very unfortunate. but it does look like it gives UDeep now the chance to try to take their advantage on the zone and move up here and make plays themselves. So.
Yeah, it was a great play by the Junior and the 52, enabled by the 52 because the 52 was the first one to kind of go for that flank. Junior drops with them. They flank behind 2 or 3 members of PSU, get the picks of the 2 on zone that weren't ready for it, and then they cap the zone. The penalty is gone here. We see sliders are coming out in the background. We see a double slider inbound.
Oh, there they go. They insta cap the zone. Wow. Definitely one way to say, no, this is my territory, you are not allowed here. Arkin here, making a really risky play. They do not live, sadly. The heavy edit does get Arkin there, and now they're going to go back to the zone. They just use their cooler, so their teammates now have cooler, and they are going to stay alive a little longer and have more sustainability. The reef slider is going to go in there by Ike. Does not get a pick, but he does follow up with one of them, at the very least, and he's still alive at that moment.
Yeah, they're still pulling the fight down to the bottom. We had a 2v1 at one point, but nobody goes down. Andrew's still behind, by the way, trying to find a flank opportunity. Not going to happen. The heavy edit denies 2 again. This heavy has made some nice plays. Sliders are starting to come in, maybe a little bit early, though. Keelan gets punished on that one, Froggy.
Yeah, man, that was just really unfortunate. I mean, like, you'd hope that the slider would hit that. It doesn't quite reach that area, though. At least you need certain amounts of special power up to do that. Slider going to come out here from Arkin. They are going to cap the zone, and UDeep is going to have to retake, once again, through that big chunk of penalty. That's something I really knows about zones is the teams that tend to have that larger chunk of penalty at the beginning tend to suffer a little bit for it in the end, because now they have to go through larger amounts later on. But at the end of the day, it's kind of come down to who can play better, and you do see this year kind of trying to keep the zone the best they can. UDeep is going to go for the cap. Are they going to get it? It's kind of going back and forth here. Really depends on this fight with Key. Key does reach slider here, though. They get the bubble. They have to stay alive here. Can they keep it? They do keep it. Good on them, and that is the game. Wow.
Yeah, that was super fun, honestly. The amount of sliders that hit zone are insane.
Yeah, I think there's at least like 9 on zone there. At the minimum, they're probably closer to 12 to be with it, because they were doing that double slider strategy to insta-cap the goal. I haven't really seen much of that before, but I have, like I've heard people doing that first visual. It seems to be working for them. So as long as you can do that, I think the big thing for PSU Fish is how are they going to counteract that heavy edit? Because at the end of the day, I think that heavy edit was really what was separating the 2 teams, at least in my eyes, right? Like, you have the wall string, the one team, and you have the other team, both anchoring, but which one is better and how you play around both the sets. It does look like a sub is going to come out here. Correct me if I'm not.
Yeah, it looks like Key Lime has subbed out for PSU, so they'll bring in their 5th member. So we will have... They're going to rotate a little bit. I believe UDeep also has 5 members, but it looks like the 4 of them are staying in, so no changes now. And we're going to be going to our next map, which is going to be TC Humpback Pump Track, which is something you don't see too often here, Froggy. This is one of those few that I think are popped up in CCA, which, honestly, CCA map list is pretty standard to most map pools, but this is one of the ones that you don't see too often, but I have seen in a couple other tournaments.
Yeah, a very slosher heavy map to start with, so I do think that Dreadbringer is going to be very powerful here if they do bring it out again. I don't know if they will. They might opt for maybe another bubble or maybe Inkjet, or like Inkjet can also be crazy good here too. There's a lot of really powerful weapons that oh okay. Sorry, yeah, there's a lot of really powerful weapons
there.
No, I did, but I don't remember it anymore. There's just like a lot of really powerful, like, okay, like you think trips going over the wall? Can you just like be like, no, you're not allowed to even like look at the tower? Like, there's just a lot of really powerful specials that just deny the whole thing. So I'm wondering if they'll bring Dread, because if you can get Dread around the corner, you can do a lot of damage. But you have to get there. That's the hard part, right? And you have to use the tower to do it. So you take a lot of risk in doing that. So I guess we'll see what happens here.
I think Luna tends to play a lot of N-Zap when we've had him historically. I know they can play a couple other things. I think they've also played Mini, and we do see the N-Zap coming out here, Froggy. So, my brain of knowledge finally remembered what they played. It took me a little bit. So we are going to see the coolers coming out for PSU, but we still see that bow coming in. A little bit. I'm a little surprised, but also
it's not the hammer bow. No,
yeah,
it's nothing's bad with the wellspring by any means. I think it's just interesting because I would think the hammer one, especially with the buff, would be really powerful now. I've seen it do a lot of damage on land recently, so I'm just a little. That's my thought process on it, anyways. I know a lot of wellstring players personally, so
yeah.
I mean, here we do kind of
seen-
this neutral game.
I've seen UDeep play both, to be clear. So they must feel that the wave break brings a little bit more value, because I think they even on this map they've played the hammer version in a earlier set we saw of them, but it was on Rainmaker when we saw them do that. So and that's why I'm a little bit surprised at bow. You know, they play a lot of bow, but they don't exclusively play bow. And it would be tower. You know, I would say it's bow's like weakest, maybe that or clambless are weakest modes. So I'm a little bit surprised they didn't push out one of their other weapons, but hey, they're doing good in the rest of the team.
They're proving us wrong right here, yeah.
We're talking about
I do think
bow, and they're getting wipeouts.
Well, continue talking about the kids bow a little bit here just for fun. I think that Wavebreaker tends to be a little bit better against the dualies, so maybe that was their thought process there. They saw the dualies and they're like, well, why don't we counteract it, right? Again, PSU Fish here just kind of going for it, though. They are going to get stopped here just a little bit. Luna's still back there trying to stay alive. Are they going to get out? They do. I mean, UDeep really wants this kill, though, and they do get it, and that's a really big issue. Now,
they did see the jump.
They did. You
gave
me hope. You gave me so much hope there, bro. I was like, ooh.
I thought they had it. The one member pulled away, and so obviously I'm on production today as well. Tried to switch over to the right person, but they had already died, so I guessed wrong. Look at this.
There's a big sniper. Oh, if they get any extra out of it, maybe. Oh, not quite. Just a trade. Not really what you want, but nothing horrible moves. Cam going beautiful kill there, just straight up, just like absolutely diffed whoever that was. I didn't really see, but we do see that now. It is fish on the defense here. They're trying to hold this last checkpoint if they can, and they can hopefully do so, because if they do. I mean, they do get to make it. They do not get it. They do let them go through the checkpoint, I believe, though.
They got it.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, camera angles. A lot is going on right here. Just like the UDeep is going to try to go for that lead. They do get it here, and that currently puts them at the lead of this match. Are they going to be able to push through? We'll find out. They do get that last checkpoint as well. Cooler going up in the tower. It does actually land there. I did a little something ahead of motion there, but yeah. UDeep does not get the finalists that push. Maybe they do. O2 kind of playing back here. They kind of have to pivot who's on tower, and they're gonna back off here. Which now maybe fish with their cooler and the reslider will be able to have the chance to push here. We'll see how they have to play on these weapons. They grab two at the same time, so they have 3 specials up. They have a lot of chance to really do some damage here if they use these specials right. Can they get themselves the paint and the map they need to get in those positions to use those specials? Like sort of find out here in a second.
A flank here from the dualies. Dualies not getting anything. Look at all of the members of UDeep turning to try to get this dualies. But oh my god!
Oh my god! The literal definition of skirmishers to draw attention. Like, and that was it right there. That's how you draw attention, people. Is you go behind them and you do whatever that was, and you stay alive because it was working, and that's for sure. The roller did go down in that skirmish, luckily, so at least they got something out of it. But it does look like the roller has gone down again once more, so I definitely think that UDeep needs to make sure they're painting here. They don't have the paint to go with it. They're not going to be able to defend anything, but they are. Never mind, I stand corrected. Just their junior just cooked, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was enabled actually by the heavy edit. The heavy edit flanked up mid, and all of PSU either went down to the heavy or got flushed to the right side, and the rest of the team did a fantastic pincer maneuver into that corner. Well, so the heavy edit only getting 1, but they moved a lot of PSU members into just a death trap on PSU's right side or UDeep's left side here. We see PSU though trying to find another opening. They're going.
The heavy edit's going for the same thing once ago. They do go down actually this time. They figured it out. Yeah. Andrew here is still trying to make something of this play. They're kind of in this position to do so. They did get rid of the wall. At least players out of ink. They know it. Can they follow up on it? You see the umbrella here with the reslider ready. So we're going in for this play here, trying to make something happen. Can they find an opening to use the reslider to get a player kill? They do. They do find an opening. They don't get the player kill out of it though, and the heavy edit's still on top of them. There's only 9 seconds left in the game, and so they need to take this win if they want to continue to maintain their lead. If not, UDeep is going to continue to even out the matchup and make this a really much more intense set. PSU is still on the tower though. They're not letting Cam up. Yeah, Cam doesn't know, but Cam gets it. Beautiful, beautiful plays for both teams here.
Cam sharked the tower, and they just kind of started ignoring Cam there. The roller, of course, coming up over from the rail, and so they combined for the kills. I think the roller got 1 or 2 of them, and then Cam actually was the one that got control of the tower for UDeep. And just like that, we're tied up after 2.
Yeah, 1-1, really big deal there. You know, as I've heard, we have Rainmaker and Scorch Gorge. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Rainmaker is my favorite mode for various reasons. But
I like it too.
I'm kind of excited to see what these people play. Hopefully, we do see that while streaming with Hammer. It's something we talked about for half of that match. But
hey,
I guess we'll see, right?
You were talking about cool things, you know. If they bring out some fun stuff, you gotta see it. It does look like Luna subbing back out for Key Lime again for PSU. No subs right now on the side of UDeep. I will get confirmation that they have 5, but I'm very confident they have 5 members on their roster. Yes, UDeep does have a 5th option, but it looks like they're going to continue to stay with Cam, Ike, T, and O2. So right now they're feeling comfortable. You know, you usually don't want to make too many changes early on anyways. I like to kind of set a good pace with a few people. But PSU having the fish here having a little bit of different mentality. Hey, we're going to get some changes in there. We got Luna in. Now we're bringing back Key Lime.
Yeah, I mean, there's always kind of I've always seen plenty of teams where, like, I mean, like, I can think of many teams where just, like, they're like, oh, I only play on tower control for my team. Like, that is just what some players do, especially in, like, try, you know, in a way to even out things, right? Where you're just like, I like, what 2 modes are you most comfortable on, right? And you're like, oh, I like tower control better, and so you just split up your team that way, and that's something that's totally reasonable. You play your team's strengths, not
and I think that makes sense too. With Luna was going NZAP, right? And Key Lime is going Dualies. So Dualies is not the best, especially the Reef Slider one, which is the only one I've ever seen Key Lime play. Key Lime can play some other weapons like Nautilus. We've seen that in the past. But for the most part, we've seen him on Dualies. And if you're going to play Dualies, you'd rather be on Rainmaker and Zones. I would probably say maybe Clambless, depending on the map mode. So, like, that makes the most sense to me, that it kind of makes sense knowing their weaponry, what they're kind of switching in and out on. I think Luna almost always, I think, has always played on the tower controls we've seen, or almost all of the tower control games we've seen for Fish across this season. So it's not surprising. I think Luna feels really confident in tower control on that NZAP. So I think that's where we get Luna in a lot. And of course, you know, it never hurts to have cooler while you're holding it on a tower, or rushing in front of tower if you are one of the other weapons.
As Key Lime goes Jet Squelcher. Like, not at all what we predicted here. That's kind of funny. We do see a Sploosh here coming out for O2, though, which is very interesting. Very, very prominent Rainmaker weapon that just got the 3% range buff to outrange Brush. So,
I know, so sad. It was one of the few matchups Brush actually had favorable.
Yeah, one of your few matchups you actually had, yeah.
Yeah, like the only one that just was straight up without any specialty situation we have advantage on. And now it's like, oh, now we have disadvantage on it. I mean, it's not a hard disadvantage, but it is a slight disadvantage. But early on here, Rainmaker grab and nothing came from it. We see the
going for the hammer. They're gonna get arced in there.
And they get they're not gonna get anything else. They just get absolutely beamed by Jet Squelcher plus Angle Shooter plus Rainmaker.
Yeah, basically everything was just thrown at him. Not surprised there. You want to get rid of that hammer as quick as you can, because it will cause chaos real fast. And if you're going to go down there, they do not get this checkpoint. We do see Cam here. They do have their Zuka. They're kind of playing around here with the shot. A different, I think, weapon change. I don't believe we've seen Cam play shot yet. They have been playing Gal, if I remember correctly. So, yes. Zuka here, ready? They're going to go for their... Oh, they don't get the pick they wanted. They don't get... Oh, they do get Keelan, though. Oh, at least something. You traded breath air, fresh air. Oh my words. For that player, so at least they get something out of their special.
And mind you, they still have a little bit of the special gauge too, because they didn't use the whole thing. They only shot 2 shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
So you know, they're a little bit closer to the next one. But here, you were talking about the hammer bow. We do see the hammer bow finally coming out. Slider plus hammer equals checkpoint. And
not to mention they have Wellstring, which is probably guaranteed pop pretty much either way. Like, I don't think you can fight that very easily. The Zuka is going to come out here to try to stop that, but the Vac comes out probably to absorb the last Zuka shot if they can. They do it. Oh, the roller's going to get him. The explosion of the Rainmaker maybe sent a little too early. You could probably use that pop if you wanted to. It does look like everybody's going down besides Andrew, who here is coming from spawn. So very good defense from side of PSU Fish there, it looks like. But I guess O2 was gonna say no to Sploosh. They whipped up the hammer. They're gonna go for 2, and they do get 2 out of it. They're gonna probably play fast here. They're gonna paint the pedestal, go up, try to attack this player. Not quite the damage you're looking for. Didn't quite get the hits you needed. Sadly, the Dooley's gonna go down to the skirmish to the Rainmaker, and the Rainmaker is gonna deny them the trade-off of their shot. And O2 here going kind of crazy. They do see a jump here now. Probably can camp this if they don't let the bow do anything. Oh, they do get the pick they needed. They can probably go after the second one here. That is a vacuum though. So are they going to be allowed to do it?
And they get the
checkpoint. Wow.
They do get the checkpoint. And here comes PSU, or sorry, UDeep rushing forward, trying to get something. Andrew rushes in, gets the pick, which is critical, keeps the lead in favor of PSU. But right now, UDeep gets a shot with the Trizuka. Couple players are still there, and UDeep got the pop there, but they aren't able to grab right away. Smart plays, for that matter, not grabbing. This is where you want to grab it. It looks like they're going to go. They have Cooler. They're diving, but actually, the player
at the lead.
Everyone thought grabbed it. You could see that the Heavy Eddie thought they grabbed it, and they didn't. Another player did.
Everything is it's all crumbling. Their whole place just fell apart. No. O2 here, playing aggressive. You're trying to get out of here, though. You know, Sploosh gonna be able to get. They're probably gonna maintain pop here once again. They're gonna actually be close to hammer too, so maybe they can another play out of it. They're gonna probably try to hammer the crab. Oh, the crab gets it first. Their hammer has been denied twice this match. Once through Zuka and now through a crab. And the Sploosh player is probably just not feeling it today. I'm gonna be really. The hammer is not working out for them quite the way they wanted it to. Andrew gonna pick up the Rainmaker here, trying to again once. To get a further lead than they already have. They're going to try to get the edit. They don't quite get the edit. The edit's going to be playing on this corner. We do see O2 there going to use a Sploosh hammer once again. It does look like they do get one player at least. I think they're all the way in the back. They do get pushed out by what looks like the bow was over there. And now we see these 3 players are going to try to push this Rainmaker through the checkpoint and hopefully to the lead, the side of UDeep. I think of UDeep, right? Yeah. Yeah.
UDeep's the one trying to get a push here in yellow.
Yeah.
Not able to get anything just yet. PSU has had a great defense in this corner, but I mean the lead is beatable. To be clear, like it's not an amazing lead by any means. Just right now, PSU is putting up an amazing defense. They consistently are keeping UDeep behind the snipe right now. Kind of that key position has been really well held, but this might be the break here. It's just the bow. You need to go now if you are UDeep. Go!
The hammer! They have the hammer! They're not. Oh, the hammer gets canceled too! Oh my god. It's just up to Andrew. Andrew's gonna kill the jump. It's just Sploosh down. It's just the one. Oh, what a turnaround! They had 3 up! They just weren't fast enough! That's pretty much the game there.
Was a threat. That's what it was. They were scared of the hammer, which is a kind of fair position. You knew the bow was creeping behind, right? So it was like, you can't just full dive it because you get killed right away because that hammer would have gotten them. But it just took a little bit too much to move to that next level and try to challenge them. And so with that, Fish is gonna get away with this one. I'll tell you what, that was a really close score. And I mean, every single game has been close thus far. Honestly, Froggy. I mean, none of these games have been more than like 20 points difference. Honestly,
no, not at
all. We had, I think the game 2 was the furthest apart, and they were like 14 points. And both of them were like 20-ish on Power Control Humpback. Like, this is great. This is what you want in a who is winning the group match, right? This is amazing. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So something just to throw out there, I do really think that without Wellstring, like that weapon is so defensively favored towards like zones and like Rainmaker, where I think that's where that weapon is going to shine. I think it's going to struggle here on Clams. I think it's going to struggle on TC. Not that it's bad on either one, but it's just like that's where my mindset goes. I'm like, those are the maps where I would think that I wouldn't want to play Wellstring personally. Like if I was like forced to or like something like that's where I was like, I'm gonna struggle on these, right? Because the weapon can like aim over ledges. It takes more time to prepare the weapon offensively versus defensively. If you know what I'm saying, kind of like defense is happening. You don't know when you're gonna make the moment to make the offensive play, and that's just my mindset of it, anyways.
Yeah,
we're talking about the Wellspring again. Here we are.
Yeah, I mean, Wellspring is just a very fun weapon that you don't get to see too often. So I enjoy talking about Wellstring. I of course love talking about Vunder. You know, I've played some Vunder, won some tournaments with Vunder, so I like me some Vunders myself. So I mean, that's why we're talking about Wellstring a lot too. They're just fun weapons.
Vunder being real. You're like the sole Vunder main of S2, bro. Let's be real here.
I mean, it wasn't a Vunder main, to be fair, but I did play it a lot. But nonetheless, I've played it more in 3, honestly, than I played it in 2. But
Keyline playing the VDapples.
Yeah, we do. We finally. I didn't think Keyline played the VDapple, so I will say I was incorrect. And
yeah,
from the comments earlier.
And we see Ike playing S-Blast, so we're like literally. I said this at the beginning. It's like, how do we counterplay each other? And it literally looks like each team they come up with strategies for these maps and modes, and they're ready for each other at this point. Keyline here going to this left side play, are gonna get denied by the hammer. Oh wow, O2 actually making huge use out of the hammer now. They've proven that they know what they are doing with it. The bowstring is gonna get the no, how unfortunate. Oh man.
O2 has been constantly going, oh, I got 2 to their teammates. Like, they had to have been. Like,
yeah,
how do you not make
absolutely.
that joke with your name?
Yeah, I mean, can't go in there.
Constantly got doubles,
you see,
man.
we are gonna come out here, probably gonna be thrown straight at this whole string. Nope. I was wrong. Never mind. I guess not. I was thinking you want to get out of the background with that, but if you have other players and you can make them work, which it seems like they're doing, I mean, make them work. Wow, S-Blast is gonna deny Arcton there any chance to make any play there. It is just the Dapples, and they're throwing down their cooler just for themselves. Oh, no, Keyline. And the hammer too. Oh, the hammer gets denied though. Oh, what? The trades are everywhere.
This is a bloodbath. 5 people go down.
Both teams' coolers are next to each other, just to be clear. So I'm not that surprised. They didn't know. They didn't find them. They don't know where they are. They're just behind
Cam.
Cam is just waiting.
They just literally behind. This could be a big play.
You gotta pick on. That's 2. Please. There we go.
Can Cam get another one? No, but their team goes 2 down. Their team goes 3 down.
Oh no! It's just push with the hammer. Maybe the hammer gets a crazy throw, or they just go crazy with it. Who knows? Oh man. That was a good play by Cam. That's crazy that the player didn't realize they're there. Like, if you're following someone, how do you not realize that they just dropped and not look for them? Like, that's crazy.
Hey, things like that happen sometimes. I've been.
Like, they do.
I've been where Cam has been many times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you play literal like rat weapons.
T here, kind of pinned in a bad spot. Gonna make the smart decision to jump out. O2 gets 1. Can they get 2? No, but now with the hammer, but they're gonna get back with the ball. And I'll tell you what, their opportunity to score 2.5 in this game. Neither team has scored thus far, but both teams have a power clam right now, so it can happen really quickly.
Absolutely. You know, the other part, I think that this is probably one of the more harder maps to score on, if I'm gonna be real with you. Like, you do need to get pretty much a full wipe to like do anything, and we could have a long game here. If I'm gonna be honest with you. We do see some picks coming out here finally, though. But it's just Cam left, and Cam wants the ball. They're not going to be able to get it. They're not going to be denied by the Brella and the Doolies. They're going to go down. Now the other players are obviously alive for them, but now it's kind of just, we're having this like cross trickle where both teams are just unable to get to the enemy basket. It's not quite what you want.
The slider tried to come in, not getting a pick, and the teammates didn't jump in. I think they were slightly in range too. They might have had an opportunity to do some slider cheese there. Didn't come through, but they 3 down. Let's see if O2 is going to bring this hammer out on this Vunder. There's a jump there. They didn't see it. O2. Oh, no. But the teammates get Keyline's jump. But if they have the hammer, I would have went forward with the hammer here to just go rush the Vunder. Because there was only 1 member up. It was Arctan on the Vunder. So a hammer kind of shreds Vunders, to be fair. That's not a great place you want to be as a Vunder. And and the jumps came in.
O2's going crazy. They're trying to make something. They do get, looks like 2 of the teammates at least. Oh, only 1. Wow. Oh, Cam's still up here. The Cam's still staying alive. It's just them in the edit, looks like. Trying to make something play. They do have Zuka. They're gonna pop it here. They do get the 1 pick at least, but it's not quite what you wanted. Another trade. It's just constant trades. We're just saying trades. And the mines are gonna stop. No. Wait. O2 going for this. Hey, okay, they're not even allowed to score. Wait, there's another one. And they finally get a Cam finally scores. Oh. After 4 minutes, we finally got our first clay basket, and it's just a power clam!
We will not be having an 8-minute game here, folks. No 8-minute games.
Well, we will at least have overtime at the moment, as long as this team can maintain the power clam. Okay, I commentary curse. That is my fault.
They have
oh, they do have video anyway. That's true.
Break the beacon! Oh, they're jumping to it because they didn't break it!
Oh!
Some points are going in. Look at DE getting the one behind. Couple members of UDeep falling back slowly. Make the smart play, though. They have a great defensive position. This map is so team-oriented. It's really nice if you can work as a team to push to that next level. And right now...
They will have 2 power clams, too. They have the pity as well, because they picked up the one earlier. So they have the clams to score. They just need both pities. The reach slider is going to go in here. They're trying to get the other. No, they're probably going to go forward. They can probably make... Oh, they don't get the reach! T stops them with the heavy edit. I don't think they have enough time now. They're going to run... Yeah. Wow. Wow.
We're right back, by the way, to a
yeah.
It didn't even set again.
So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you there. I mean, that's just like, it's been a set. It's been so back and forth. Like that whole game, I'm like, somebody do something, please. Make it happen.
People were doing something. You know, we're gonna look at the stats at the end of it, but I bet you it was a bloodbath. We're going to look at the stats, and I think there's probably going to be like 80 deaths in that game. Everybody averaging over 10 deaths. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, with 2 people are throwing coolers, like the opposite coolers against each other, like they're almost like touching. Like, I mean, obviously there's something happening there. That is the fight zone. That is the run and die. Like, it doesn't get more simple than that.
Who can feed harder until they break through? I felt like kind of was the TLDR of that game.
Yeah. So, something just to mention, because I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, where were the beacons? Like, I know we saw a few. Okay, there were a few beacons, but I really feel like either the other team was just on top of the beacons, or they were just maybe weren't not beacons. Who knows? This is just me throwing it out there, right? But I think of a beacon comp like that. I'm like, I'd be jumping all the time to those beacons. And I didn't see that as much as I thought I would. Maybe I just wasn't looking at the map personally, but. I would love to. I'm gonna go back to later to watch because I want to see what's going on there.
There was some beacon jumps. No, there were some. There just wasn't a lot in mid, which is I think why you didn't see very many of them. Because
maybe just closer to their basket or
PSU didn't really control mid for most of that game. If they did, it was always like from like right about where the Rainmaker checkpoint is, checkpoint 1 for those kind of like that and back. They didn't really usually have full control of like where the zone is. If it was zones, they probably would have gotten destroyed because UDeep kind of controlled that for most of the game. So a lot of the jumps were back up all the way by their clam basket. So that's why we didn't see a lot of them.
Yeah, and so like another thing that kind of comes into play here, speaking of zones, is we have ship type zones next. So like now I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, I think the Wellstring is gonna play really well here. Like I think that this is just probably their map. Like I mean, they're already really up for starters, you know, like to begin with, right? So like I think T might struggle here unless they can get on top of their like the Wellstring just like can hide behind the little box on top and just outshoot the heavy edit. Like there's not gonna be a lot the edit can do. Besides have one of their teammates maybe like Cam get a Zuka kill on the Wellstring or something like where they can just eliminate that player from harassing their heavy edit player, right? It's not going to be a charger on charger or splatling on splatling matchup. It's a Wellstring versus a heavy edit, and it really depends on the map and mode here. And I really think this is a Wellstring favorite.
And there's probably going to be 3 sliders, by the way, combined, right? No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like there's only not this time. No, we only have the one slider.
Wait, do you? Wait.
We have the one slider from
with the Bella.
Yeah. So, not a lot of sliders. This is not Robo, apparently. I'm a little bit surprised because slider's not bad on this map. It's a little bit more vulnerable on this map just because of the up and down verticality. But yeah. But look at the bloodbath in the background. Holy crap. The heavy edit rushed in. The heavy edit held forward more than the junior in the shot. That was insane. There's just a bloodbath everywhere again.
Sometimes Splatoon is about making plays, and sometimes it's about making plays that nobody expects. That's kind of how the game be sometimes. Okay, I'm not going to quite get that Zuka kill. Oh, they're not going to quite go down here either, though. Teammates are going to go up there to the top, try to get rid of that player. They do. The Wellstring is up there, too. They're going to get it. Well, heavy edit just eliminates the Wellstring when they're not looking. And now watch, he's going to come from behind once again and do the thing, and they're just going to start mowing down.
And they have team support on this Vunder, so all they have to do is be at the distraction so the Vunder is shooting away from their teammates, and they get the pick. That was really good anti-Vunder play there by
wow, Wellstring against the Booyah. Oh, T is just going crazy. He is cooking here, yeah.
Just one after another going down. It looks like they're finally going to take a little bit of a breather, build some specials here, Froggy, and they'll get a chance to try to push again.
You know, the 2 specials now, they do throw down that jumps, I believe, yeah, and then they have the reef slider here. They might have to use it. They don't use it, and I gets the pick on them. Now they're down a special. They do see the crab does come out here finally, though. The crab is going to get Ike for it. It's kind of going down to this like thing where they need to get in there somehow. And they don't have their reef slider now. They do have at least a wave breaker to throw some like disruption in the middle, but it's not really going to do too much. They don't really have any dually or like grounded players, for the lack of a better word, right? Arcton does finally get the zone with the help of the other teammates. They do get a reef slider kill too, so now they're pushed up and now they're putting down mines and they are setting themselves up for success here. And they do have to kill O2. O2 is still kind of going around here trying to make some sneaky plays. They're going to go back up here with their junior, and we do see that, like, obviously something a little different. We don't see the sploosh now, we see the custom junior. We haven't really touched on that yet, but torpedo can be very powerful against certain weapons here, you know, specifically Umbrella in some cases.
But right now, though, PSU getting close to getting the lead back. 35 remaining, and I think this will probably be the lead. But the question is, can UDeep get the cap here with a numbers advantage? Booyah Bomb coming out. He rushing in, getting a pick combined with the Booyah Bomb. This should be probably a flip in favor of UDeep, but this Vunder is being a pain in the ass, keeping it a little bit longer before the zone actually flipped. Down to 15 remaining, a respectable push, but with how back and forth is and how well that UDeep has been able to lock out Froggy, I don't think that we'll see that lead be holding here.
I don't know. I just witnessed one of the most aggressive heavy edit players I've ever seen. But yeah, no, it does look like UDeep does finally go down though, and they don't get to hold that for very long, which is not what they wanted. They probably wanted to score there, and they didn't quite get it. And that's the issue with getting those like initial really large score chunks. Is now you have these really big penalties, which we see for both teams here, right? So now, you know, we're kind of playing this game of like, okay, who can hold the zone for an actual substantial amount of time once again, right? Because now both teams are kind of like in this mode where they have attrition of specials from previous attrition of specials from deaths, whatever it be, right? So I guess it's kind of this game now of who can hold the defense better. And so, because both teams know how they want to get in, they've both played it now. Can they repeat it? Will the other team defend better against it? How do we go about that? It does look like it's gonna go down here though. They're gonna get down to Deeded. Deeded's still playing against this Dooley's player, looks like, who's on the wall. Oh yeah, oh the junior, sorry, my bad. They're just going crazy here. The other teammates are still kind of alive. They're playing the zone. They're helping keep the pain up. Was letting Deed just kind of go crazy. These players not letting them move. Like literally, they're like dancing to Deed. It's like wave breaker and missiles at this point. Like that's literally what I'm watching right now.
Deed and highlight got a nice double to break in and a double to help defend. 5 on the clock here. Froggy, I think this game is going to go to PSU, and it officially does. Just like that, Froggy. PSU is back in the lead.
So, I want to mention this now at this point, okay? PSU took the first zones game. Am I correct on this, right?
Correct, yes. They got robo zones.
Yeah. So they won zones, they lost tower, they won Rainmaker, and now we're repeating, are we not? So we're gonna go back right to tower, and I would not be surprised if UDeep gets tower and PSU gets zones. This is just my prediction, throwing it out there, not trying to curse anybody or anything, but like, Wall String is just stronger on those modes. It's just almost like I said it earlier. I just think it's the truth. I think they're gonna be strong in Rainmaker, and I think that's gonna finish the set for them. Can I be proven wrong? Absolutely. Maybe the swap out of the player here will prove me wrong, because Inkblot Art and PSU could just win here for all I know. Or UDeep could just be better in Rainmaker. Like, that Rainmaker game, every single game has been really, really close. It doesn't matter either way. Yeah. Like, it's just a matter about, like, can one player maybe just have the adrenaline or just, be in the right position at the right time to get the quad or get a full wipe and just enable their teammates into a position where they can just, like, not like, wipe immediately, right? Or, like in a defense where they just aren't breached at all.
And we talked about the subbing of Luna out or Luna in for tower control. We do see that happen again here, Froggy. So we're going to have Cooler for the side of PSU again being brought in, assuming Luna plays Zap. I've only ever seen them play Zap. So there's a non-zero chance that they play something else, but I've never seen it. But, you know, Inkblot TC, it's all about bats, bats, bats. If you saw the CCA stream last night with me and Hoenn on it, that's what you're gonna see here. Maybe a tone down just a smidge, like this much.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, and this is just my mindset. If Cam went Gal here, I won't be surprised because that is the Bats control weapon of Bats control weapons. Like, having a wall and in a position like that is just so powerful. You can get up there. So if I'm Cam, I'm going Gal here. Right? Like, I feel like I coordinate with Cam's weapons personally, so it's just like how I would think about it. But I could be wrong. Like, its shot is just as powerful here, and we've seen it before, and we can see it again. Like it. It depends on, but obviously these teams are prepared. They know what they're doing to an extent, right? And so they're taking their time and they're like, hey, this is the plan, this is the strategy, and you can feel it in their selection right now. You can see PSU is like, we know what we're doing here, right? And you can see that UDeep is trying to counteract it, and they've done it once before, and I think they can do it again. I think this is probably UDeep's game here.
Yeah, this is an advantage, I would say, UDeep as well. I think they showed how well they can push on TC. I want to say, though, that PSU didn't do bad in that TC set by any means.
No. That's the same thing. Like, same thing with the Rainmaker game. Like, they're so these games have been like all within like I think that the maximum we've seen is 40 points, and I think it was in the Clams game, and that's just because they scored 2 power claims or whatever. It was like, yeah, okay, like that surprised one team opened the basket, one team didn't, right? Okay, Hydra coming out here, and we have some completely different changes. We have Tri Slasher.
We do.
we have Inkjet Tri here with Zap and a Hydra, and the other team we have the Gal with Right Fiction. Ike did go S Blast, and then we do not see the Wellstring. We see a Stamper instead. So definitely some changes coming out here, and we'll see if these changes work these team favors. Hydra's going to go immediately in here. Indeed, it is going to be attacked, but they are going to get a pick off for it. It does look like the members of PSU are going to go down a little bit here, and it's going to start off the push for UDeep. UDeep is kind of in these positions to be aggressive. We do see T here with this Zipcaster, and they're kind of ready. They're trying to give them some paint. Maybe the teammates Scamper in this like Bats position, really trying to make this thing work. And they're going to use their Zipcaster here. They're going to go try. They do get the 1 kill on Luna. They're probably going to go around. They're probably going to go for Deed and try to get rid of that Hydra. The Hydra is going to go down the other teammate, Ike. And now, all of a sudden, UDeep is pushing up here. Like, Cam going with Gal here, trying to get rid of this crab. Stalling it out. They're stalling out the crab. That 2 players are not focused on the tower, and it's going to allow O2 to push the tower and start taking that lead a little further. It is going to be just Ike there, and they're going to down. So now it looks like PSU is going to come back in here, and they're going to try to take control of the map and use that to their advantage.
I mean, they got past checkpoint 2 so easily. They got bats. They absolutely cooked on that. That's an amazing first push. I mean, that's about as perfect as you can ask without just going and knocking out. Like, that's one tier down from just winning the video game. And
yeah, absolutely.
What an amazing opening there by UDeep.
It was so fast. It was the first minute and a half of the game, but it was the whole push, and it's just kind of they just won the 2v2s. They won like the neutral matchup in numbers, and they use it to their advantage. But you see Arcton here kind of use the Jet. They're gonna get the 1 kill. They need an O2, the junior player, which means now they aren't gonna have bubble for defense here. The Gallows can try to go. They're gonna get Arcton trade there though. So now this is 3v2. Deed is on tower. They have the Booyah. They're gonna be pressured by Stamp. Stamp is going to go down, so now nobody on the side of PSU. They're just respawning. And UDeep gets the lead already.
PSU gets the lead. Oh my gosh, Froggy. This 3rd checkpoint's going to go down. They're so staggered. This might be the set. Fish is going to be the #1 seed coming into playoffs from their group. Just like that, the set is a victory for Fish.
That's crazy. They really took the best push they've ever had, and they just flipped it around. They're just like, no, we're not letting you push this. We're taking the set. This set is ours. Like, they said no here, and it was very obvious. And they made the swaps to the weapons they needed to do that, and that it just shows proof of the skills individuals. So congrats to them. So are we doing a play all 7 as tradition in the CCA, as I've heard?
Yes, what they told me, it's going to be play all 7. So we're going to play this last game out. To be clear though, UDeep is still going to be in the playoffs, so shout out to them. You guys had an amazing season. Obviously, you lose this one, but no team was perfect in their group, by the way, because Fish also lost one set.
So now they've taken UDeep to have their lot, so now it's 4-1 both, so now, both teams going to playoffs.
Yep. And the head-to-head obviously is this set. So, and that's why even though UDeep was coming in 4-0 and Fish was 3-1, now that they're both going to be 4-1, the head-to-head being the first tiebreaker, Fish wins that. They become the first. They become the #1 seed going out of their group going into playoffs. While UDeep is still going to be in playoffs. They are both teams were locked into playoffs coming into this set. To be clear, like this was not neither team was a win and in. Both teams were already locked in based on tiebreakers. It was just for the #1 seed, but that's still amazing. I mean, this has been a really good set. Every game you could narrow down to a few specific plays. You flip those, the other team wins the game. And in this case, that last one was maybe one of the more, they had a really dominant push, but we just saw before that UDeep have a dominant push and push almost to the 3rd checkpoint right off the bat. It just came down to they fed a little bit there, Froggy, on defense. They got a little bit antsy, I think.
Yeah, I think that having like that momentum and then just having a flip ending sometimes can really like, I don't want to say like mess with the mental, but it kind of like you just put yourself in a state where you're like, oh, we'll be fine, and then you don't think go to it, and then you just make another mess up. You make two mess ups in a row, and it's kind of pretty much game over, right? So I think you kind of just got to that point where they were staggered a little bit too hard where they didn't need to be, and they weren't ready for the map that it is, because that is TC, and that map does that a lot of the time.
Yeah, it can be really snowball. Once you lose bats, it just snowballs, and I think both teams really quickly gave up bats. Admittedly, both of them. That if I can give like a constructive criticism for both teams, because both of them failed in that. I think on the defensive side, they lost bats very quickly. On that map.
They went to plat too, which was not really what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going to bats right away too. Like that's my habitual spot, anyways. But
yeah, I agree. So they kind of lost bats a little bit too quickly. Both of them I definitely want to fix that going into playoffs, hopefully, because I don't think either of them. Obviously, if you're PSU, you're excited to win and win the set definitively with that. But at the same time, you might want to go, okay, we need to maybe replay that one a little bit differently in the future.
Yeah.
We
especially because it's just on the map list. Yeah. You most likely will be playing these maps again. It's still going to be on the map list. It's not going to go away for any reason. So just something else to consider, right? Like these maps don't go away. They come back later in the bracket, I assume, is what they go into here for the CCA. So we do see here, looks like this looks like UD going here for the checkpoint. Yeah. They're gonna kind of be denied by Luna a little bit here. They do get the check, but they just went down a few 20 players here. I don't know if they'll be able to follow up on this push. Luna surviving a random Zuka shot, just surviving. Okay. I was gonna say like that was a little wild there. T is gonna go down to the 2 players, the 2 skirmisher kind of weapons here, kind of duking it out. They can try to get this Rainmaker. They do, and so now it's gonna kind of flip it on the other hand. So we do see kind of something here. Is we do see this like sploosh damper comp that is kind of pretty strong. I've seen that work a lot of times before. Everything just exploded. I don't know how else to describe what I just witnessed. I looked up at the top and everybody was dead again, and I was like, I was gonna take the time that they were setting up to talk about the weapons, but no, we don't get to. Everybody is going in and they are fighting about. This is literally like Bloodbath City, and sometimes that is just how Splatoon is. It is just 2 teams are so equally matched that they just go crazy at each other. Cam here, trying over the play. They are denied by the double killer whale, looks like, or if not double, it just happens to be the wrong place. I think it was double killer whale from both the bow and the gal, actually. Yeah.
Yes. The whales everywhere in this one, because we see Max. Some people in the bonus games like this, you'll see them play kind of more funny weapons or weapons they don't play very often. Max, of course, in this one is playing a weapon that we don't see Max play very often, but it's a normal weapon for Splatoon. So it's the inverse of what you see from other people. They do that jump, and it almost
I don't know. I was hoping you'd say something. Yeah, maybe they do get something. Maybe Andrew just gets. Oh no, not quite. Some just crazy stealthy jump. The jump may have given him away though, which is kind of a shame. The player could have looked at it a little longer if somebody had called them out. But I guess you live and you learn, right? You do see Cam here going for this Rainmaker. They're gonna take it cut. It looks like this pretty safe. They do have T over there on the right side. And O2's gonna get the hammer kill. T is not gonna be able to go forward here. We do see Cam able to push the Rainmaker. They're just open. It's open. The Zuka's the name. The Zuka creates tower. Oh, and the Rainmaker's denied. Andrew's gonna fucking. Are they gonna be able to do it? No, they're going down again. It's just T. T needs to either get out of there or maybe hide. Maybe they don't know they're there. I think they revealed themselves now.
They got the whales on.
Oh, not quite what they wanted. It's okay though. They do get it to 1, and 1 is a very strong lead to have. It is the second best option besides KOing. So I mean, I take that there.
Yeah, it was a really good push. And so it's going to make PSU have to knock out if they want to win this game. Oh, we see this the Ike coming in, getting 2. I'll tell you what, if you're PSU, you're glad you won that last game right now. To officially win the set. Because if they had lost that set, right now it would be looking like UDeep would be coming away with the victory. But as we said, like every game has been close, so it's not surprising by any means that this game has been in the favor of the members of UDeep. Look at Arctan trying to stay alive.
Whoa, I'm surprised Arctan lived that. Oh, they do try to push it there. Kind of funny. Definitely something I would do though. I'd be like, let's dive it. Arctan here trying to play up top, trying to get rid of their bunker and get rid of the players that are in it. The other one's going to come up. They didn't really realize them, and they don't. Neither player goes down here. They do know that O2 took the. I think they know that O2 took the jump though. They probably called out. No, they don't. They don't know. Look above you.
Getting a nice double.
Oh, he gets 2. Wow. Only 51 seconds left in the game. This game's going really fast. There's just a lot going on. A lot of death and a lot of bloodbath. I don't even know how to describe this. If you're UDeep right now, you are definitely in a happy position. You just want to build your specials. They're very close to Zuka, and they're very close to strikes, so they're in that happy spot right now. And if you're PSU, you need something. You need to get these picks, and you need to not lose 2 players to a Zuka shot. But you know, sometimes it be how it be. So at this point, you only have so much time left. You don't want to be retreating. They only have the timer, the Rainmaker.
They're gonna explode.
Being up there, it's like, go forward, no!
I don't know if they maybe went. Okay,
I don't think they
this
knew.
Reset. Maybe try to get the pop. I'm not so
I mean,
sure
you
about
can
this.
do
Cam
that,
is going to
but
make a
now-
smart play
but
to
now-
play safe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congrats to UD for that game. At least they got the game. So now I think it comes down to how do these players perform at the end of the bracket, right? So like I think that these players can look at these matches and they go, hey, these are our strong suits. These are where we're struggling. How do we make adjustments in the future to prove ourselves in the bracket that we know what we're doing and we can do it? And don't get me wrong, but all of these games have been super close. This last one was probably the only like complete swing where it felt like one team had dominance most of the match. Every other game, 40 points maximum difference. Even the KO, like the other team had pushed to 2, and then it was like, okay, let's push it back in the KO, right? So I think it was a wonderful job from both teams. Congrats, both PSU and UDeep. You guys played wonderfully. I'm so glad I got to commentate this set. Thank you very much, Mare.
Yeah, no, this was a really fun one. Unofficial 4-3, officially going to go down as a 4-2, but you know that was a really fun one. Let's go look quickly at real quick before we have to start this other set because they're already ready on the other side. So I want to try to grab this really quickly. Where are we at? This is too far down. Here, one more up. There we go. So you can see not too much of a bloodbath early on. He making some great plays. We saw that early on that Robo game. But the one I'm more interested in is a little bit later. But you see how close they are. I mean, KAD are really close.
Absolutely.
By the way, Arctan shout out that 15 and 6 on that one. Great play there.
15.
Scorch Gorge, again, just a back and forth, a lot of bloodbath. We see some people dropping double-digit deaths on that one from multiple players, which is not super surprising. We saw that. This one, honestly, I'm surprised the numbers are this low.
Well, they're like 20-ish on the one side. And, the coolers are definitely doing work for Keylime there, that's for sure. Like, you can see it because, at the end of the day, like, they were around, right? I think that's just how that game is. The beacons and the coolers were just putting a lot of effort.
Yeah, you can really see that Ike and Andrew, in a lot of ways, were the ones kind of diving in a lot of these games. They, for a reason, had the highest deaths in most of these games, which is understandable, right? With the weaponry they played and what they were doing, it makes sense. They were making a lot of openings for their teammates. And we can see, I know the numbers look really bad for UDeep on this one, but it's just because their defense was bad. Their offense was good. I think these numbers... a lot of the KA was early, a lot of the death was late. That's kind of what happened there.
If the game had lasted longer, I'm sure it'd be a lot more evened out. Yeah, for sure.
I think that one is an exception to the rule. We can see, amazing job here. We saw Ike dropping 18 on that last one. Great work,
they took the momentum. Yep.
All right, Froggy. We got to wrap up, though. The next set is ready to go. So where can people find you, Froggy?
You can find me on Blue Sky, on Twitter, or on Discord, or on YouTube. It's all just Little Pet Frog, either way.
Of course, you guys can find me here, always producing, always doing shenanigans.
All right.
But yeah, we have another set coming back here, so stick around. We'll be back in just a moment with PSU Goobers versus Coyotes Black. So be right back.
Bye, chat.